Hey, Blue Table fans! Time to take a look at the Eldar Codex. I've had a full-on week to read through it, and I'm not all the way through the fluff, but I have been looking at the forces and models, of course. So let's skip to, because I have some insights here. First off, you've got this new flyer, and of course flyers have their upsides and downsides now. Being hit on sixes from ground troops is one of the big things, but there are more and more flak missiles and things with skyfire, so it's a bit of a toughie, but a flyer is definitely an alpha striker because it can come in, hit, and basically hit almost anywhere on the board. And then if it survives the turn, it can go off the board and repeat the performance. So the question is, what kind of striking power do you have with these bad girls? So this kit makes two things. It makes a Crimson Hunter, and it also makes what's called a Hemlock. And let me see if I can find that one. Well, there's a couple right here. Let's see if I can get rid of the glare. There you go. They're both really quite different. In fact, hold on. Is there a Hemlock? The other side here? There's not. Okay, so anyway, oh, there it is. There's the Hemlock. I actually think that one looks better. I'm not a fan of these oddball veins that stick up right here. But you know what? If I actually had it in front of me, I might think differently. The overall shape of the model, I love this shape. That's really cool. This whole falcon-esque birdwing thing they got going on. So let's talk about them in the game. So the Crimson Hunter has 2 bright lances and a pulse laser. And if you go back here to the stats, you'll see that that is basically 4 shots. The pulse laser is strength 8, AP 2, heavy 2, 48-inch range. And the bright lance is actually a tad shorter range. It's a strength 8, AP 2, heavy 1 lance, 36-inch range. So basically it gets 4 shots. All right, so the Crimson Hunter, the Exarch, who is the pilot, by the way, ballistic skill 5, and that's 20 points to upgrade that. So it's a whopping 180 points with that upgrade. And then, so basically, Perfect Strike gives him the ability to pick out character models in a unit, which is absolutely incredible. And so precision shots with to-hit rolls of 6. So one thing you could use this for is to insta-kill characters in units. And that, I gotta tell you, that's pretty cool. In fact, so Crimson Hunter comes on, he targets a unit, and you'd roll all these dice. There'd be no precision shots there. There's about, I don't know, 75-80% chance you're gonna get at least one. No, there's one. So that single model will be hit with a strength 8 AP2 hit, and that can insta-kill a lot of stuff. Of course, heroes generally have some kind of invulnerable save, but to me, it's a very interesting power, although with all those other ones. Oh, and by the way, ballistic skill 5 for the Exarch, so this would be a hit. So that would be 4 hits plus a precision shot. And so you could say, all right, I target the librarian in the unit with that, and so unless he had some invulnerable save, he would be insta-killed, and then there would be 3 shots. So the Crimson Hunter, I gotta tell you, is pretty awesome. It also has Sky Hunter, so it rerolls armor penetration against non-penetrating, non-glancing hits. So let's say it shot at a flyer with armor 11, which is high for a flyer. So that would be 4 hits. See the difference there? That 1 upgrade makes him ballistic skill 5. And so the Crimson Hunter really does definitely earn its stripes there. So that would be 4 hits, and then it would be strength 8, so 3s to glance, and you would re-roll these 2 1s, and then that would blow that flyer up absolutely with a huge amount of accuracy. So I see the Crimson Hunter playing the role of the insta-kill first strike type of role. So that's a toughie. Which one do you want? It also has Vector Dancer, which is a nice feature. Then you get into the Hemlock. Now the Hemlock's interesting because it's 185. but it has a first level psyker as the pilot. And so it's got 2 heavy D scythes, and that is, hold on, that is Strength 4 AP2, Assault 1 Blast and Distort. So that's kind of a weird weapon, definitely anti-infantry. But here's the weird thing, is that it has a Mind Shock pod. That means units within 12 inches have to re-roll morale and leadership tests. In fact, let me just look it up and make sure I'm giving you the right information here. Mind Shock pods, where are you? There we go. Morale and pinning tests have to be re-rolled. So that's incredibly interesting, because the pilot also gets the psychic power Terrify, which takes away Fearless, gives Fear, meaning the unit will fear everything, and they have to re-roll if the Hemlock is within 12 inches, and as part of Terrify, you immediately have to make a morale check. So if it was a morale check, say on an 8, which is a typical thing, so that would be a failure, and then so that unit would be falling back, so that would succeed, but they would have to re-roll it, and that would be successful. So really, so let's try another one. So that'd be successful and successful. Failed. Successful. Re-roll. Failed. So basically you're going to turn around maybe 20% of those. Maybe someone can do the math hammer for me. All right, let's talk about the Wraith Knight. So there's been a lot of debate about this. All I can say is I used it in a game the other day. I was playing against 2 opponents. It was our Canadian guests, and they were playing Space Wolves and Necrons against me. And here, I'll let you look at the cover while I talk about this. Isn't that nice of me? And so our Canadian guests were playing against me. I was playing Rich's Orcs, and I basically just got mopped up. Thunderwolf Cavalry rampaging around, unstoppable monolith, couldn't take it down. And so they were like, hey, how about we have a Eldar Wraith Knight show up, and we'll play the game from there. So here's how it works. The Wraith Knight pops out, insta-kills every single one of the 4 Thunderwolf Cavalry. Granted, they didn't have... what was it? They didn't have the storm shields, and so then the Wraith Knight proceeded to kill a unit of Grey Hunters. Basically, the thing is, he gets this blast weapon. I can't remember what it's called. It's called a Sun Cannon or something. Yeah, Sun Cannon, 48-inch range, Strength 6, AP2, Heavy 3 blast. And I basically just killed 6 Grey Hunters, and then I charged in, mopped up the rest. 2 of them were sent running. And then I attacked the monolith, peeled off 2 hull points in a single turn because he's Strength 10. He's Strength 10, gets 4 attacks, 5 on the charge, weapon skill 4. So he's an absolute machine against vehicles. Let's say he's attacking armor value 14. So here we go. Let's roll. I need 3s to hit. So there you go. That's all 5 hits. That won't be the norm, but there it is. And then it's Strength 10, so 4s to glance, and that would be 3 glancing hits, actually 3 penetrating hits. So let's try it again. He's attacking an armor value 14 vehicle. So there you go, that's 4 hits. That's actually more along the average there. You're going to get about 1 point some odd misses. And so there you go, 3 penetrating hits that time. Let's try it again. Okay, there's 2 misses. That's about average. 4s to glance. You'd end up with 1 glancing hit. So the Wraith Knight's an absolute machine against anything. And here's what we found, is that since Strength 4 won't hurt it, you simply have to identify what can hurt the Wraith Knight, and then go after those things first. And then everything else just kind of basically has almost no chance against it. And so the Wraith Knight really is a complete death machine when it actually gets on the battlefield. Initiative 5 is awesome, but definitely get the Sun Cannon and Scatter Shield, because it will need that. I took something like 9 9 hits where I failed. Excuse me, 9 hits where it would have ignored its 3+ armor, and I saved about 4 or 5 of those. So I was pretty lucky, but it definitely just went around. Oh yeah, it killed the monolith. So the Necron Lord charges in to try and save the monolith. And so then the next turn I charge back in, I kill the monolith, and basically it was, this one model basically just came in and cleaned up this opposing force. So now naturally that won't be the same all the time, you know, because opponents will bring to bear the right thing on the right model. But I was very impressed with the Wraith Knight's flexibility and its capability as well. So, but that was just one game. All right, so other things I've noticed. First off, Dark Reapers, which are the talk of the town now, they do have a Reaper Rangefinder, which, oh my gosh, I just forgot what that does. Yeah, that's no jink saves. So 10 Dark Reapers would cost 300 points, and they would get 20 shots. They're only toughness 3, but they do have 3-up armor. So I see Dark Reapers as being really, really awesome. They're anti-infantry. They can definitely take out light vehicles. You can now give them star shot missiles, which are effectively like crack missiles, but they're also pinning. Everything is pinning. So that's really nice. Now if you look down here, you got War Walkers. 3 War Walkers upgraded to star cannons or scatter lasers cost about 200 points. So 200 points versus 300. And here you'd have 18 shots versus 20 shots, and so it's a toughie. Personally, I'm going for War Walkers because I like the models better, and they also have Fleet and Battle Focus, which is a pretty huge deal. They get to basically run and shoot, or shoot and run, and re-roll the run roll. So basically, say you would run and you'd go 5, that's good. Okay, next turn 2, that's not so good. I'm going to re-roll that, get a 5 again. So on average, you're probably running 4 or 5 inches a turn, and that can be everything, because you know what the ultimate defense is? That nothing can shoot at you because you're behind a giant building. So this basically, with Battle Focus, they brought back the pop-up attack army-wide. Eldar players should be like tearing their shirts off and dancing in the streets, because they, just for that one thing, they got tons of fun. They're a lot more fun to play. Now let's see. Did I have any other insights here? Fire dragons, striking scorpions. Personally, I want to get a wave serpent with 10 striking scorpions with an Exarch and Karandras in it, and see what that can do just for kicks. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Wave serpents, in fact, I'm pretty sure all the vehicles can take just any of the vehicle upgrades now, which also is really absolutely nice. Now look at this little peach. It's about 15 points, I'm pretty sure. And it's under the, not Remnants of Glory, Eldar vehicle equipment. So, vectored engines. Oh yeah. Unless it is immobilized, a vehicle with this upgrade can pivot to face any direction immediately after revolving its shooting attack. So what you do is you move your Wave Serpent up, you turn it around backwards. You know what? All right, so vectored engines. So check this out. I was actually looking for a model to show you. So, but you know what? Let's use the, well, hold on. All right, all I could find is this Tau Devilfish. So, all right. So here's how it works. It says, vectored engines says that after the model has done its shooting, it can now turn to face any direction, right? So let's just take a look at the shenanigans you can do with that. So you move up your Wave Serpent. In fact, hold on, let me just get a little farther. Okay, so it moves up, it turns around backwards like this, right? And now Wave Serpent can shoot all around because of the turret, so that's not a problem. So that's its movement, so you just do the move, and the unit inside, whatever, it disembarks. Okay, now let's say the enemy's over here, okay? And so now what you can do is this unit can now shoot, because you're not obligated to use the vectored engines right away. it just says it can pivot to face any direction immediately after resolving its shooting attack in the shooting phase. So the fire dragons or whatever can pop out, they can shoot, and then they run. So you run around like this, right? At an angle like that. So now it says it can pivot. So you go like this. Now you can pivot and potentially block this unit like that from being either assaulted the long way around or possibly also being shot as well. So you get just a little bit of, because a skimmer can move over things, it just can't end its movement right on top. Now if I'm wrong on this, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear anybody's insight. But as far as I can tell, that is definitely some shenanigans happening. And it also gets rid of the thing where Eldar vehicles, to get the range, would have to, you know, expose their rear side. With vectored engines, excuse me, not vector dancer, vectored engines, you can turn around to face frontwards after doing your shooting attack. So I'm going to say awesome for that. So so let's move on. Let's see if I came across anything else while I was looking at this. Let's see, Hemlock Wraith Fighter, Wraith Blades, Wave Serpent. Yeah, Wave Serpents can take items from the Eldar vehicle equipment list. Also, if you take a scatter laser, twin-linked scatter lasers, plus a shuriken cannon, that will make the scatter laser twin-linked, and if it hits, it makes the shuriken cannon also twin-linked against that opponent. So not too bad. The Wave Serpent can also, because of the Serpent Shield, can make a Strength 7 Assault D6 plus 1 pinning ignores cover attack. That's awesome. That is really, really amazing. And it says, in its shooting phase, the Wave Serpent can deactivate its shield and shoot a burst of energy with the following profile. Treat as hull-mounted weapon pointing forward. And so, you know, it does count as one of its weapons, unfortunately. But I do believe a fast skimmer can shoot all its weapons if it moves up to 6 inches. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. So D6 plus 1 shots would be 6 shots. So that's basically 6 autocannon shots that are pinning and ignores cover. But they are AP nothing. So there's that. But this is great anti-vehicle. So that'd be 5 shots. So versus a Rhino, it would be Strength 7. So that'd be 4s to glance. That'd be 2 pin. That would basically blow that vehicle up. So let's try it again. That'd be 4 shots. Strength 7 versus Armor 11, 4s to glance. That would be just 1 glancing hit on that one. Let's try it again. Oh, but you do have to roll to hit. Hello. Haha. Funny. All right. Ignore the man behind the camera. All right. So I haven't really, you know, I'm not smart enough really to. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Don't ever disparage yourself. I have not put the mental energy required into figuring out what the deal with all the heroes are. Personally, I'm looking at the Phoenix Lords because they look really fun. But you know, do you want Karandras or do you want 10 fire dragons? You know, I think 10 fire dragons are going to create a bigger disruption in enemy lines. The random powers, I'm not a fan of the random powers. I'm starting to shy away from the Farseer. Warlock Council is interesting because you basically can just have 10 of them all in a unit, and there's sure to be something nasty there. Jet bikes are only 17 points each. Can you believe that? 17 points for a jet bike. That is just ridiculously awesome. So yeah, so 170 points for a unit of 10 of those things. And they have the same survivability as a Space Marine with power armor. And that definitely makes Shawn happy. All right, so by the way, the Wraith Guard are awesome models. They do an awesome thing. The D sides are template weapons, so they're like flamers, Strength 4 AP2 flamers. Well, guess what? If you charge a unit of 10 Wraith Guard with those, you're going to be looking at about 20 hits on Overwatch, which basically will annihilate. They'll be in no shape to even take on the Wraith Guard, even though they only have 1 attack. But they are Strength 5, so I have to say Wraith Guard are looking really good to me. Something tells me the Eandon list is going to be absolutely disgusting. So, folks, inquiries, guys, are on standby to set up your Eldar army for you, or with you, rather. My recommendation for an Eldar army is as follows. 2 HQs, basically whatever it is that you pick. Quite frankly, I think the Spirit Seers are looking pretty good because they're cheap, and they also unlock Wraith units as troops. So I would get 2 units of Dire Avengers, a unit of jet bikes, a unit of Rangers. That's what I'm getting. You can get Striking Scorpions, Fire Dragons. I would put them. The Wave Serpents are looking so good right now that as a delivery device that you just have tons of options on the field when you have those. So a unit of Wraith Guard. In fast attack, it's a toughie. A Crimson Hunter is almost a must, really. Warp Spiders are looking really strong with the monofilament rules. Then in heavy support, you just have this smorgasbord of things. Personally, I would get, if I were ordering from Blue Table Painting, I would get a Vol's Wrath support battery and have all the options magnetized. That would be great for fun games because you'd be able to get lots of different options there. Dark Reapers or War Walkers are good for massed anti-infantry. Do you want 18 Star Cannon shots with greater mobility, or do you want 20 Reaper launcher shots that are slightly weaker? And in fact, these are Strength 6 AP2 and these are Strength 5 AP3. So, quite frankly, I'm leaning towards the War Walkers. The survivability is arguable. Personally, I think the maneuverability of the War Walkers, getting them actually out of harm's way, is really much better. You've got a Fire Prism. Fire Prisms are getting a lot of love on the forums nowadays just because they are so flexible. So for tournament play, I would throw a Fire Prism in there. They can just snipe from long range, and they just have so many options. I think a Wraith Knight is a must, and the army I've just described to you is easily 2,500 points. So if you're doing a 1,500 point army, it's easy to pare down from there. So the Prism Cannon, look at this bad girl. Prism Cannon has a large blast at Strength 5 AP3, a regular blast at 7.2, and a lance at 9.1, all at 60-inch range, and that is not too bad. And the Fire Prism's ballistic skill is 4, which is pretty solid. So Fire Prism looks like a lot of fun to me. It's a fast skimming tank, so pretty awesome. All right, folks, that's all I have for you. I think I probably gave you plenty to ponder on, and definitely call us or email us. Our links for that and information for that is in the liner notes. We have full-time people ready to set up your army with you. So thanks for tuning in.